When we talk about perceptions of people being situational, it's important to understand how this may appear in a conversation when you are determining your perception of a person. First, let's talk about the definition of a script. A script is a sequence of events that we expect in certain kinds of situations. An example of this is, for instance, if we observe people at a football game and we understand that we see the officials on the football field or on the basketball court are wearing their uniforms, they stand out from everyone on the field. Another example is by getting us to label things in a particular way. When a behavior is ambiguous, we often rely on the situation to figure out what the behavior means. For instance, if we see a woman crying at a funeral, we have the perception that the woman is sad. If we see a woman crying at a wedding, then we have the perception that the woman is crying at the wedding because she's happy. Unless she was the girlfriend. That was not nice. A third way the situation influences the way we perceive people is by creating expectations about what is or is not appropriate. Like that joke I made the last phrase. But situations vary according to how they are scripted. They serve as action guides of telling us what we're supposed to do or say or even think. Some examples include the scripts that we habitually use for being introduced to someone, participating in a class discussion, or even ordering food, being interviewed for a job, going out on a date, or hanging out with a friend. This also includes mingling with acquaintances at a social gathering. An example would be greeting rituals that tend to follow a predictable nonverbal sequence. You wave, you nod, you shake hands, you approach the other person, you make eye contact, and you smile. It's usually what happens. Interestingly enough, taking this a step further with our generations, if we really like a person and we've placed them through the entire person perception process and they've passed, then we exchange Snapchats. We no longer give numbers. We exchange Snapchats, or we exchange Instagram handles, or social media handles. So when we move into consider perceptions of people are personal, we also have to understand that as far as our perceptions goes, our perceptions of others are meaningful, systematic, and situational. Saying that they are personal highlights the fact that each of us tends to perceive things differently. Now, also, this is based on our lifespan. It's based on many other factors that we've talked about in previous modules. So do understand that this is a continuous process that we're building up on. And perceptions of people are personal. And it's based on their frame of reference and their experiences. For instance, one person may have a personal perception based on how they were raised by their parents, and their personal reflections of their parents are now a part of their personal reflections as they move forward in continuing to shape and mold their perceptions of situations and of people. Our frame of reference colors the way we see things. Suppose that a mother learns from a child in the neighborhood that her child was caught bullying someone else. Suppose that this information does not fit with what she believes about her child. Sometimes this process of assimilation occurs. This is when we interpret events in a way that reinforces our frame of reference, even if those events are contrary to our expectations. A mother might assimilate this information about her child by discounting what the neighbor said, or by conjuring up some sort of circumstances or excuse that would justify her child's behavior. We use a process of accommodation when we alter our frame of reference to fit new information that we receive. In this case, the mother might take her neighbor's story seriously and reconsider how innocent her child is. Now, when we go on to talk about some other important things in this area of interpersonal communication, we want to also understand the term priming. Priming refers to any experience or procedures that bring a particular concept or schema to mind. For instance, a person who has just finished reading a magazine article about losing weight is primed to think about weight loss when encountering other people. This may prompt the person to apply concepts and schemas related to weight loss when making snap decisions about others. Another piece of information to understand is that the term cognitive complexity refers to differences between people, which includes differences not just in the quantity, but also in the quality of concepts used to describe others. These concepts are known as personal constructs. A cognitively complex person will provide a richer assessment of others than will a cognitively simple person. More concepts, more abstract concepts, and more integrated uses of concepts.